pain.
Good day, everyone! This is an educational video wherein we tackle and discuss issues that are quite relevant in our society.
We all know that there are a lot of issues in our society, may it be economical, political issues with professions, health, education, and ideals.
Right now, we will tackle an issue related to health and is a great factor that affects our society: drugs. As we all know, a lot of countries deal with this issue as well. For example, countries like Iran, Russia, US, UK, and Philippines.
We will tackle more about drugs, but first, let us discuss what is drugs.
A drug is any substance that is used in the diagnosis, cure, relief, or prevention of diseases. This chemical or substance affects a person physically, mentally, and emotionally. Drugs can be beneficial to man. However, we have to know which drugs are harmful, when and why they are harmful. Drugs may be classified as legal or illegal, prescription or non-prescription, or classified based on their effects to the systems of the body. Here we have the different classification of drugs. The first classification of drugs are prescription and non-prescription drugs. Prescription drugs are those restricted drugs that can only be purchased legally when prescribed by a physician, whereas non-prescription drugs are those drugs which are also known as over-the-counter drugs because you can buy them without any prescription from a doctor. The second classifications of drugs are legal and illegal drugs. Legal drugs are those substances that are not prohibited by a law in a country. Examples of this are medicines. And illegal drugs are substances that are prohibited in a country. The laws may prohibit selling, buying, using, and manufacturing of the drugs. And lastly, pharmacological classifications. This includes stimulants, depressants, hallucinogens, narcotics, and inhalants.
Now let's move on to the substance or drug use, misuse, abuse, and dependence. The use of drugs has become a major help in the field of medicine. Drugs help prevent or control many diseases as they relieve pain and help the body function properly. Though drugs can help us, they also present us with some of our worst problems and greatest challenges. The misuse of drugs has led people to abuse and addiction. The widespread use of drugs has become a major problem to our society. Drugs can become a substance of abuse and they can turn harmful and fatal when not properly taken. Let us go further to abuse, misuse, and dependence of the drug. Drug use. Have you ever been sick? Have you taken medicines? Well, I'm sure you do. Medicines are legal drugs. Doctors prescribe this and it must be according to the intended use. That is the positive side of drugs. Now, it is often defined negatively due to issues that give off negative consequences like problems with the law, school performance, relationship with family and friends, and problems with effects to the body. This is due to drug misuse. Substance misuse. This is the intentional or unintentional use of a prescribed medication in a manner that is contrary to directions, regardless of whether a harmful outcome occurs. Examples of misuse of drugs are taking more than prescribed dosage, buying drugs from unreliable sources, taking the drug out of anger, and etc. Substance of abuse. It is an intentional self-administration of medications, whether prescribed or not, to alter one's state of consciousness. This starts when people begin to use drugs and begin to feel the pleasurable effects of the drugs, when they want to fit in with peers or want to try on adult roles and behavior. Substance dependence. This is a condition in which a person is accustomed to the drug that relies on it to function normally. They tolerate it, that leads to harmful results and effects. When the drug is stopped, the person experiences withdrawal symptoms like chills, sweating, mood swing, anxiety and depression, vomiting, and insomnia. Now, let's move on to the different substance of abuse.
Depressants. These are antipsychotic drugs which depress the central nervous system. These substances slow down the brain activity. These are also called downers. Narcotics. They are also known as painkillers. It slows down the central nervous system and often prescribed by physicians as analgesics or drugs that relieve pain. Stimulants. These substances, also referred to as uppers, are psychoactive drugs which stimulates the central nervous system. They increase energy, alertness, and attention. Hallucinogens. These are psychedelic drugs that interfere with our senses, alter perception, and cause hallucinations. Inhalants. These are chemicals that produce vapor, affecting mood and behavior when inhaled. Non-medical inhalants are uncontrolled drugs.